Good afternoon, everybody. This is Tracy Armstrong, owner-operator of North Pittsburgh Greeting Company, the area's premier welcome wagon lady, welcoming all the new homeowners and new business owners to the Pittsburgh area. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking to Dr. Dan Turo, owner of Turo Family Chiropractic, located in the North Hills section of Pittsburgh. Dr. Dan Turo, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well, Tracy. Thank you for having me back.
Great. And I hear there's a special birthday tomorrow. Is chiropractic really 125 years old?
Believe it or not, yes, it is 125 years old. The very first chiropractic adjustment was given in 1895 on September 18th. Um, and I always like to share a little bit of the story because most people don't know that the very first adjustment was given because the gentleman was actually suffering from deafness. He could not hear. And so the D.D. Palmer, the discoverer of chiropractic, he was well versed in anatomy based on his profession. He heard the story of Harvey Lillard, who was a janitor working in the building with D.D. Palmer, and Harvey Lillard lost his hearing about a decade before when he was lifting up some boxes and heard a pop in his back. And when that happened, he immediately lost his hearing. So D.D. Palmer postulated that if he was able to find something that was misaligned, out of place, that was impinging, on nerves going to the ear, that if he could restore that, then the man's hearing would be restored. And sure enough, he found a misalignment in his spine. He laid him down on the floor before we had, nice, beautiful chiropractic tables. Laid him out on the floor, gave him the very first chiropractic adjustment, and they were up on the third floor. Immediately, Harvey Lillard was able to start hearing the horses and carriages down on the cobblestone road after that first adjustment. And so that was how chiropractic was born 125 years ago on September 18th.
Wow, that's amazing. I would have never have thought it was due to a loss of hearing. How long was that gentleman suffering from hearing loss?
Over a decade. I think I heard it was like between 15 and 18 years. When he first lost it.
Wow. And what sparked your interest into the area of chiropractic medicine?
So I think the biggest thing going back to high school is when I really fell in love with the human body. I took an anatomy physiology class at North Allegheny, so right here in the North Pittsburgh area. Um, and I absolutely just fell in love with anatomy physiology, which is ultimately the structure and the function of the body. And I knew at that point I wanted to do something in healthcare. I knew I wanted to study it and be able to help people express health at their highest level. And ultimately, I was called to chiropractic. There was just a connection there. The philosophy of that story with D.D. Palmer and how he could remove an interference to the body's communication system, and by virtue of doing that, then the body was restored to its normal function, which in Harvey Lillard's case was normal hearing. So that just really, really resonated with me. And when the body is allowed to communicate properly, its function is restored to normal, and that's what I get the opportunity to help with people every day.
Now you decided to become a chiropractor. You said you had a you decided in high school you were thinking that maybe the health field is where you want to go because you're interested in those classes. So there you are. You're done with high school, North Allegheny. So you're a local guy.
I
Good
am.
for you. Always support local. And you go to college. Where did you go to school, and what was your bachelor's degree in?
So I did go to Penn State University. I went to main campus and got my undergrad degree in kinesiology, which
Okay.
again is the study of movement and specifically in relationship to the human body. So we studied a lot of biomechanics of the body, how it moves. Studied a lot of physiology, a lot of exercise physiology, and how the body responds during the demands of exercise. So that really was the foundation of diving in more to anatomy, physiology, and really how the body works, structure and function. And so that was the foundation of leading me up to and into chiropractic school, which is the graduate level work.
And then where did you go to chiropractic school, sir?
So that was down at Life University. It's in Marietta, Georgia. It is actually currently the largest chiropractic university in the country and actually the world right now. But there's only a handful of universities that you can go to right now for a chiropractic degree. In fact, I believe there's less than 20 across the world. I don't know that for sure, but there's really only a handful to go across the nation and the world to really get an educational background in chiropractic.
Wonderful. And what is your favorite thing about being a chiropractor? What brings you the most joy at the end of each day?
It absolutely has to be the testimonials. There was a gentleman. He's talking about the end of my day. Just last night I had a gentleman. He came in for his second adjustment, and he was already feeling an amazing amount of relief. Suffered from chronic low back pain for like 30 years. He had both hips replaced, and it was getting to the point of it was interrupting his golf game. And you know how us gentlemen and ladies who love the golf, you start interfering with that, and you're in big trouble. So he finally bit the bullet. His wife had been telling him to come in for years, and he just recently finally made the appointment because it was interfering with some of that functionality of his life, specifically his golf game, and wanted to get it taken care of. And after that second adjustment, just absolutely amazed at what a difference it had made. And he even said that waking up in the morning, he always dreaded, that first, sitting up and standing up, from bed. And he said the morning before that second or third adjustment, he said it was a night and day difference. I was able to get up without fearing, the chronic pain that I was experiencing. So, he called it, Dr. Magic Hands is what he mentioned. But hearing a testimonial like that, and again, it's not just about removing pain. It's because it's never about the pain. The pain is stopping you from doing something, and it's interfering with your ability to function in life, whether it's do your career, be with your family, play a game like golf, be recreationally active. So it's not just about relieving the pain; it's about restoring your body's ability to function in life. And so, hearing a testimonial like that with such high, regard and praise for the process and the uniqueness of what we do, and how it made such a difference. I mean, that just that'll keep me going for years to come.
Absolutely. Well, on a personal note, for me, many, many moons ago, when I was pregnant with my son, towards about the seventh month of my pregnancy, Dan, you've known me for years. I'm a worker. I've always worked. I worked the day I gave birth. I went back immediately afterwards. I love doing what I do. But my back pain from my pregnancy was so bad I couldn't sleep. And I mean, you're the father of two. Your wife has experienced this. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't move. I was miserable. This was probably back when you were still in school, doctor, because my son's older.
Possibly.
Um, I remember going in, my OB told me, go to this particular chiropractor in Cranberry. He can help you.
Mhm.
And he did a few adjustments on me. And I remember getting back into the car and crying because the pain was gone. I mean, I was in tears.
Yeah.
I was in tears. And it just because I walked in and just, I didn't know what else to do. Because when you're pregnant, you're very limited on what you can do. And I believe, like you, if you can take care of something holistically rather than versus medication, why not? But
Yeah.
I got my car that evening. It's about 5, 6 evening. And I just started crying from
Yeah.
relief.
Yeah.
From relief. So that's a testimonial just to the chiropractic care in general,
Yeah.
because it really can help.
Yeah, and and it's perfect example of how it's all interconnected, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, biochemically. It's all interconnected. So yeah, I've had countless experiences just like that of an emotional release, because when you are so stuck, whether it's pain, consciously or subconsciously, when your body is so locked up, and you
Hmm.
get that amazing release because you're starting to restore function and communication systems are starting to come back on. It's emotional.
It
it's
is.
it's absolutely emotional. So
It is. If,
yeah, great.
if you could tell our audience thing that they might not know about chiropractic care, what would it be?
Again, I think going back to just what I already said is that it's not about pain relief. Many people who come into the office, they get great results with pain. They're having some sort of chronic condition or acute condition, like you were experiencing with pregnancy, and they get great results with pain, but ultimately it's not about pain relief. It's about restoring optimal communication within the body. That works primarily through the nervous system, your brain and your spinal cord, which runs down through the spine, and all the branches of that nervous system that branch out. I mean, the nervous system penetrates every cell, tissue, and organ of our entire system. So if you have a blockage, a resistance, a lock somewhere in your system, then you're going to have a dysfunction. It's going to be like you're on your cell phone and it's staticky. The body can't communicate with it within itself. So you start to have dysfunction. In many cases, there's pain, but in many cases, there is not pain. So people who are suffering with, an autoimmune condition, they're suffering with a digestive challenge, they're suffering with, tingling and numbness, things that aren't pain related can in fact recover through chiropractic care. It's not that chiropractic care is a treatment for those things, but it's the fact that we are restoring normal function to the body. If you restore normal communication, the body knows how to function. The body knows how to be healthy. It's programmed for health. So as long as you are working towards better communication within your system, the body can recover from so many different things, by virtue of that restoration of normal function.
Exactly. And you have a fun virtual event coming up, right? Can you tell us about that? When it is, what you're doing, everything about it.
Yeah, so we have the Quarantini coming up, the Quarantini with Dr. Dan, and just by virtue of what's going on in the world today, we used to do, we used to do dinner talks, and I hope
Mhm.
one day we can get back to those where we would invite a group of people in the community, both current patients and prospective people who are intrigued about learning a little bit more about how the body works and how it all interconnects with their health and well-being. But we're doing it virtually, so we're doing it next Thursday, so a week from today, which I think is at the 25th. Sorry, I'm horrible with
Yes, it's
dates.
the
It's the
24th.
25th. 24th. There you
Yep,
go. So you have it
24th.
all down. You can put it in there. The 24th in the evening, doing it virtually as a live video, and ultimately it's a discussion on how does our body work. I think there's a lot of myths and misconceptions on how we achieve health and how ultimately we're designed to be healthy. But just there's a lot of myths and misconceptions out there on what to do, and how to get there. And so we want to discuss that. And so, this event is really for anyone looking to dive deeper into their health and well-being and their understanding of how the body works. Someone who maybe has, had a specific health challenge that has not responded to traditional methods of intervention and treatment, whether it be, again, an autoimmune condition, whether it's a concussion or chronic headaches, whether it's a tingling and numbness, whether it's a digestive challenge, or, some sort of other pain condition in the neck or the back. Again, maybe you have a little one who, hasn't been walking, crawling right, or, they're not running correctly, or learning how to run because of some sort of, misalignment or challenge. This is a discussion on how does chiropractic and the body fit into all of that, and ultimately is coordinated and ordered towards health and well-being. So, so it's just an opportunity to ask questions from, hopefully a trusted health professional, which I consider myself and many consider
Yeah.
me. So it's just an opportunity to get on, learn a little bit more about where I'm coming from and how I work with individuals to achieve that optimal level of health and wellness. And again, an opportunity to ask questions that you might not get in a 10 or 15-minute time block with your primary care, because things are very very rigid and
Yes.
structured in that environment. So it's an opportunity to ask those questions and just gain a better understanding of your health and well-being, and maybe how to improve it.
And if somebody in the audience right now is interested in participating in this quarantini next Thursday, the 24th, how would they go about registering?
So they can contact the office directly. We have events on our Facebook group, Turo Family Chiropractic. There's an event on there. We do have a newsletter that goes out. If you've already subscribed to that, which I know many have.
Mhm.
Or they can just call the office directly if they need the link. Some people aren't directly associated with Facebook, but we can give them a link that they can register that way. So lots of different options, and ultimately just get in contact with our office, either, virtually or calling, and we can give you, we can get you all that information that you need to sign on.
And we will be posting your website and your phone number on our comments after this interview is over. So if anybody's interested in the quarantini,
That's
they
right.
can certainly register.
That's
Well,
right.
Dr. Dan Turo of Turo Chiro Family Practic, you're fabulous. We really appreciate you talking to us today. And again, we're talking to a local man who was born and raised in Pittsburgh, gives back to the community constantly. Him and his wife, lovely wife Erin, are very involved, not only in our business, but they're very involved in local community events, the Chamber of Commerce, always giving back. You and your wife are just very generous. True Family Chiropractic is very generous, and that is because of you and your beautiful wife.
Well,
So,
yes, that is true, and she
so
she does. She's the marketing mastermind
yes,
behind all of this,
yes.
and it's only because the community has given us and blessed us with such an opportunity to be here and help so many people that we feel it's just an absolute commitment to give that back.
Well, we truly do love this community, and that's why for 16 years, have been welcoming all the new homeowners to this amazing community because it is a great place to live. It's a great place to raise children,
It really
and
is.
everyone's just very positive around here. So thank you again, Dan. I
Thank you
appreciate
for
your
having me.
time. And again, this is Tracy Armstrong, North Pittsburgh Greeting Company, the area's welcome wagon, the key to making the first impression. Have a good day, everybody.